your uncles were cops, and my brother still runs one of the largest agencies, New York, New Jersey Port Authority, and was a highly decorated deputy superintendent of New Jersey State Police. And his son's on the job, and we just continue this tradition. So throughout our shows, we'll touch base on that. But today, speaking of legendary,
Next on the lineup.
next on the lineup at
What is it
12:30
called? On deck.
on deck at
Yeah.
12:30 today, be joined by my sister, my police sister, Roseanne Manghisi, whose father was a chief in Newark. And funny story about that goes, we'll talk about it. He recruited my dad, and my
Nice.
dad wasn't tall enough. You had to be 5'7". So Mr. Manghisi, at the time Sergeant Manghisi, put lifts in my father's shoes so he could be 5'7". And
Nice.
yeah, funny. But Ro will talk about being one of the great all women's classes in New Jersey State Police and what that was like in the 70s. You talk about the Me Too movement. You talk about women being held down. How about being first class over 60 years ago?
I love it.
Maybe 50. I don't want to give away their age, but look forward to her and Debbie Dunn coming on at 12:30. And and then we'll get to it in a little bit, but the Yankees are right at the ship. It's a time to judge the Yankees. Aaron Judge, giving any youth or even any adult my age watching one of the most historic years ever. There's three names he's up there right now with, and it's Ruth and Mantle. And when you're mentioned in the same breath as Babe Ruth, you know you're doing something. And here's a kid, Rob, we joked early on, and we'll talk about it with Jimmy tomorrow. He turned down $32 million with the Yankees, and everybody thought he was nuts. And
My mother doesn't like him for that reason.
Yeah, well, he's going to get about 45, 50
She's
million.
like, well, how much money does anybody need?
Well, if the team's
She never say
making
it
it,
like
and
that.
if the teams are making it, and the networks are making a fortune, he should get it. And in this house, your two boys are Met fans. The Met fans are always waiting to lose instead of win. They've had some hard luck. They haven't won a World Series since 1986.
They say it builds character.
Well, then
when you're a Mets fan.
Well, then you better. The Met fans must have the strongest character in the world, because
You know-
right now the Braves are nipping, and the Mets have had an extraordinary year under Buck Showalter, and we all root for Buck. And I actually root for this Met team. I think they're fun and they're exciting. But the truth of the matter is, everybody's holding their breath. What are they
Listen,
gonna
we
do?
got our first
You know?
comment on the first show. Miss Adrienne Farrell. She says Jersey is back in the house. Looking great, guys. Thank you, Adrienne. We love you. Thank you for watching. Keep watching us every day, live lunchtime with the King and the Cop. And I'm not really quite sure why my name's not on the logo, because it really should be the King, the Cop, and the Jersey Girl. But we'll talk about that at another time.
Well, we'll change
So I
it.
would like to say thank you and tune in every day, 12 to 1.
So
You have your
Adrian,
lunch break with us.
My unit in the narcotic squad was 679.
Yeah.
And I refer to her as 679A.
She's
my
on the
partner.
job.
She's on the job. She's on my.
She's on the
partner.
job.
But
So let's go back
speaking
down
of
the
town,
line.
Speaking of town, Adrian works in Florham Park, and the Florham Park Jets, not the New York Jets, not the Florham Park Jets, because they have this tremendous.
That builds character too, Jets and Mets.
Yeah, something's got. Boy, that's a tough way to be a fan. But the Jets are housed in Florham Park. That's where their training facility is, and we just had pizza a few weeks ago, and we saw the star quarterback who's out. At Angelina's Pizza, our favorite.
I love Angelina's.
Our favorite pizza joint in town here.
Florham
But
Park.
maybe you guys want to be the lunch sponsor tomorrow and send us over a pie or something. But man, I said I don't even want to board this flight anymore. I want to root for them, but they're just a delayed flight. They can't get off the ground.
When did you want to start rooting for them? Because they live here?
Because I live here. You know,
Yeah,
I'm
but
trying
you
to
wouldn't
buy
even know
into the
it.
town. Yeah, I mean, our town doesn't support. You know, maybe you need to run for mayor.
Oh yeah, in my spare time, I'm going to run for mayor.
Lastly, and we'll touch on this a little bit. This poor Port Authority cop, and we'll get to it. And the last 3 minutes of the show, we're going to go off and pay him a little tribute. But this lost his life. But here's the twist of this story, especially on this show where it's cop and baseball related. Played in the major leagues for 7 years. when he would come home after the season, he knew that he was struggling with elbow surgery. He would take police tests, took the Port Authority police test. So proud to be a Port Authority officer, and I'm a little choked up and I got chills right now. But he lost his life on September 11th, and we'll explain it. It was national news story, and today they're putting him to rest. But we'll pay a little tribute to him, and it just goes to show you gotta laugh, you gotta enjoy your life, and this kid lived it to the fullest because he died in an awful car accident that was had nothing to do with him doing anything wrong, and his life was taken, and he's left behind four kids. And I'll talk about his name and I'll talk about his career, and we'll save that for later in the show. But one of the things we got to touch base on is New Jersey. Me and you are involved with some business partners in LA, and Vicky Ziegler will be coming on at 12:45 too, and she's a divorce attorney who represents a bunch of entertainers, and we have a couple projects with her. And isn't it ironic every time we go to LA and we tell them we're from New Jersey, somebody has a connection to New Jersey or from New Jersey or came from New Jersey or is writing stories about New Jersey. And
Well, they pretty much already know we're from New Jersey by when we order a cup of coffee.
yeah, the way you say coffee.
Yeah. And the fact that we have zero patience to wait for it. Like,
You have zero patience.
I can't. I'm like, hurry up. Anywhere else in the world, like the only other place maybe I'd like to be is Italy.
Is it really pronounced Italy?
No.
You just came back from Italy in
But
December.
if you're Italian, you had a relative that called it Italy.
Italy?
Yes or no?
I don't know. I don't have You're my first relative. That's
Anyway,
from Italy.
I think it's safe to say that we really can't survive anywhere else. So your dreams of getting the Florida home for the winter, that's totally fine. I love Florida, but there's literally zero way I am staying there 12 months out of the year. I can't do it. I can't do it. I start getting the shakes. I can't do it. Although I will say the weather up here is horrendous. It's horrendous.
Well, there's no more Four Seasons.
And it's a rat race. Now I'm going to name all the things I don't like about it. Hold on. Did I just see donuts right behind me?
Well,
is that what I just you decided to put the donuts right there?
We got these sent to us this morning by the DoorDash man.
So you thought it was a good idea to put it right
here?
Well,
I thought to my brothers and sisters in blue, there's always a donut nearby.
All right. I mean, you can say that, I guess, but
maybe I just had a sugar low and I need a little bite.
All right, we'll keep it there. So anyway, I just think that as far as ow, I
don't know what that was about. Yeah, this is why it's live TV. This is why live TV. By the way, I'm drinking my caffeine water. It's going to be one of our sponsors, been one of our sponsors in Tampa, Jersey-based caffeine water. As she's crying or did whatever she did, she's the most dramatic, out of work actress ever. But we'll be drinking. I'll wash that down with my donuts later, my caffeine water.
So those are the things I don't like about New Jersey, the rat race, right? You spend so much money. And you work all day trying to even pay for the house. And then there was a meme I saw the other day, and you're in traffic all day getting to the job that you have to work all day for to pay for the house that you rarely get to even live in.
Well, that's everywhere now. I mean, we go out to
not so much like here, Tommy.
Well, I think what's happened here, I was saying to my mother the other day on the road, we just have too many people living in New Jersey now. That's the God's honest truth. These roads weren't built for that.
Yeah, the Parkway is rough now, isn't it?
It's terrible. No, It doesn't matter what time you're on it. But the New Jersey governor continues to announce new projects, but they take time. I mean, they take time.
Yeah.
And and then we all got spoiled because we got used to working from home during the awful pandemic. And maybe there's something to be said for that. Maybe there's I don't know. It's just it's a double-edged sword because you have all these great companies in New Jersey that were leasing these buildings and now they're empty and people want to work from home and they don't want to go back. And when you do go back, then you're in bumper to bumper traffic. can't get to the Jersey Shore unless you leave at 4 o'clock in the morning. Otherwise, it takes you 3 hours with traffic.
And then they're putting up more darn townhouses.
Yeah,
That's
more.
what my mom sounds like. Another townhouse.
That's why you
Another
got.
townhouse.
Yeah, we got it.
Oh, look what they did over here. All these houses look the same.
Yeah, well, it's true. She's right.
Yeah.
It's true.
She doesn't exactly sound like that.
What
but
does she care? We drive her around. She ain't sitting in traffic or
Oh.
anything anyway. So, Susie Q. Anyway,
well, we do have to a special shout out to a #1 fan of the King and the Cop. It's his 17th birthday.
Oh, my man, Dylan DeSena.
Happy birthday, Dylan. We love you.
We'll see you later, brother.
We'll see you later.
Dylan,
I'm going to skip out of back to school night.
Speaking of
and
driving,
I'm going to celebrate your birthday.
17 years old. Maybe he could drive us around now, Dylan. You know. And your boy's got a birthday coming up this weekend.
Yes.
Sweet 16.
Joey, what would you like for your birthday?
That's like an oxymoron. No,
Joey, what would you like for your
16.
birthday? A car?
Yeah, him and every other kid in America.
Joey, really? And I laughed. What, Mom? Then I said, get out of the car. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out.
Joey driving is going to be the stuff that makes this hair finally fall out.
Can't even take the. Well, he does take the garbage out.
And we should let the audience know, although we're Jersey based and Tampa knew enough about our personal lives. You know, you have the 2 boys and I have 3 girls. My youngest being in Fordham, a sophomore, and studying TV and film. I'm still not sure what that means, but hopefully she'll be a producer and maybe take our show. And then my 2 oldest girls, who've blessed me with Sammy, my oldest. I got Maxwell Thomas, 2.5 years old, my only boy ever. No offense to your boys, but my blood.
None taken.
And Sadie Lady Joy.
You're going to give their blood types too?
She turned a year old. And my little Quinny Cuevas, Jordan's daughter. They're my regulars. They're the cast. They're part of the cast of this show.
All right.
You know, they love their Robbie and Pop, so they're on. And of course, Fitz the dog. Everybody's favorite.
I'm obsessed with Fitz the dog.
He's a year and a half old. There's going to be an auction next week for him. Anybody that wants him, I'll donate the money to charity.
I would give you away before I gave that dog away.
Well, to be careful what you wish for.
We have a year and a half old golden retriever.
Yeah.
And he is the best thing that, well, he brings a lot of hair to our life. He brings a lot of dirt to our life. And but he brings, most importantly, joy to our lives.
Let me set the table, because in 2 minutes we're going to be joined by Ro MANGHISI, retired New Jersey State Police, former captain, retired captain, chief of staff to the state police. All right, to all my buddies and boys in the Boys Blue Network, how about that? When Ro was named chief of staff, all of a sudden everybody made nice with the women, right? They weren't so bad when the women were running the state police.
I love it.
Yeah, but Ro and I not only worked together on the job, we worked together when we retired for almost 20 years. I don't have a closer friend in law enforcement more loyal than her.
Or in general.
In general.
Only wedding present.
That's right. That's right. Robin and I got married in a heartbeat, which is a story for another day. But of course, Aunt Ro didn't forget us, as we affectionately call her. But
she's a good friend to you.
Yeah,
really good friend.
And we'll be joined by her old partner, Debbie Dunn, and they were part of the first female class. And they'll correct me, but I think they were the first all-female class in the country.
Really?
Yes, definitely in New Jersey.
That's awesome.
Definitely in New Jersey. And New Jersey loves to take the lead. And it was nice back in 1976 that New Jersey showed the way for women. And boy, have women made a difference in law enforcement. You can easily go around the country and see the countless female leaders now. Law enforcement's changed, and it needed to change. And Ro was one of the best. I don't want to call her a cop, because she was a trooper, and we used to joke about that, but she was one of the best cops I ever worked with. And I don't know where the hell they are, because it's 12:30 and they're supposed to be on. But
well, I mean, maybe they've got a different clock.
Yeah, but we'll talk about that a little bit today, and then I just got a message from our friend Vicky Ziegler, and as always, she's in need an emergency with a client, and she'll join us next week. But it's fun always to talk to Vicky because she also looks at life in so many different ways. A serial entrepreneur, and but very successful and established lawyer in this state of New Jersey. And I had a meeting with her this past Sunday, and her daughter Sophia is probably going to be running our country by the time she's 15 years old. She's that smart. Um, but your friends are weighing in this new network on NewJersey.com. We watched this
How
morning.
awesome is that, by the way?
And
Just everything for us.
and yeah, and it's one of the founders of this is a dear friend of yours, Lisa Marie.
She's just a badass.
Yeah.
I know I can say that. You can say that on television.
Yeah.
And she's just really, really amazing. And the truth of the matter is that this is New Jersey. Shouldn't we have something just for ourselves?
Well, I never understood that, but we are in.
And now streaming is taking over the world.
Right.
I mean,
so you're teaching me. I can't even watch a damn Yankee game without.
Don't even.
But the truth of the matter is, we are people. Oh, you're a borough of New Manhattan and New York, and no, we're not. We're New Jersey. We're the Garden State, and your football teams are here, and your baseball teams probably should be here. It's a great state. We have tremendous leaders here, and it is a great state. That being said, I like our California. I like going down to Florida once in a while. Uh, Arguments have it that we're losing a lot of people to different states because they're worried about taxes and other things. But I don't know. I mean, like we said, who says you can't come back home? We're back home. The other places are nice to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there, as they say. I'm gonna have to check with my.
Well, no. It's on my end.
All right.
So you're gonna have to keep talking about things.
You know, I got to ask this question, and please, if you're watching us on Facebook, feel free to ask us a question. What's your feeling about constantly turning on your CBS, NBC, ABC, local New York news, and maybe you get a minute spot of something that's going on in New Jersey? It's going to be nice. We watched the girls report all New Jersey stories this morning. I enjoyed it. It's the first time I got to watch it. I enjoy knowing what's going on around the state. I've had the fortune of owning a minor league baseball team in Newark, New Jersey, the Newark Bears, and then one down South Jersey in Camden River Sharks that no longer exist, but got to go around the state a little bit, and it was a lot of fun. And there's the cultures down in Southern Jersey as opposed to North Jersey. Sometimes you think you're in a different state, but as the South Jersey people like to root for the Eagles, and
the Deep 609 we call it.
Deep 609ers like to root for the Philadelphia teams, but that's okay. Their license says New Jersey, and it's New Jersey is a very proud place. And I was born in Newark, New Jersey. Our company is called Down Neck Productions. My family's from Down Neck, and we drove around Newark the other day, and it was emotional for me. I miss it. I love it. I love.
You're a good tour guide, by the way.
Well, I shouldn't be driving because I can't drive and talk at the same time as I'm getting older in age. But
thank you for admitting that, because the truth of the matter is you will not admit that you are not a good driver.
I'm no longer a good driver.
Okay.
But
all I'm saying is that the biggest pet peeve I have of you when you drive is the light will turn green and you ever so calmly.
Yeah, well, let me explain that to you, and you should learn a lesson. There's no reason to jump a green light, because if you ever grew up in a city or worked in a city, unfortunately, we do have some stolen car problems. And people like to run red lights.
You have an answer for everything.
No, that's the legit answer. I taught my girls that early. Don't be in a hurry to go nowhere.
All right.
Where's everybody going? you know. So, Ro, I mean, geez, Ro,
It's
I
not
mean, if you're
Ro, it's
listening, I
Robin.
know, but I gotta blame her. I mean,
Why do you blame her? It's
I
Robin.
mean, come on. This is what happens when you get two Italians trying to do technology
No, it's
together.
what happens when you have me do everything.
Yeah. Well, I'm the star of the show here.
Are you?
Yeah. You think you
I'm
are,
leaving. Oh,
but is she here? I see
she's
her.
here.
I see her.
Okay. And I'm going to bring her on.
Well,
Do you know how to bring her on?
let's just do it.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hi, Ro.
Oh my
hey,
god.
you two better fight nice, okay?
I.
Well,
That's what my uncle used to say.
usually
Fight
you're
nice.
the mediator. I mean, you are Vicky Ziegler, so she bailed today, so you have to. How are you, sister?
I'm good, brother. How are you? Hi, Robin.
Hi.
So, Ro, we were bragging about you earlier, and you and Debbie, and remind our audience. Am I correct? And you were the first female class in New Jersey or in the country?
Actually, it's in the country. Debbie should be joining us soon. She's a better
Here.
historian. There's Deb. Hi, Deb.
Hi, everybody.
So what happened was there was a consent decree imposed in 1979, and the colonel at the time was Clint Pagano, and he thought the only way he was going to get more women was to have our class. The Canadian Royal Mounted Police did it once, but we were the first in the country. A couple states have had side by side, male, female, but we're the only female, the first and only female class. But there were two women before us, as you know, Gail Just, she came on like in 75. Sharon McDonald came on in 1978, and she was the first Black woman to join the state police. So that's our history.
But so welcome, Debbie. It's great to have you on the show on New
Thanks for
Jersey
having
here,
me. I
and
appreciate
I haven't seen you in many years, Debbie. But Rose saying the first female class, and I know for a fact from the stories that you've both shared with me and through the mail, the males weren't very excited to have the females start to basically join the state police at that time. Things have changed, but over 50 years ago, you might have went through a little extra hell. Am I correct in the academy, or got the cold shoulder when you got out on the street?
I would say that that is basically true. Um, Going through the academy, we, wasn't all female class, and so we were challenged by the academy instructors to, really set it up. But when we got out, yeah, it was even worse than that because we really weren't wanted to be there. We had to prove ourselves not only as troopers, but of course, being women, we had to prove ourselves even more.
Yeah,
Very
but that changed as years would go by. We're having a little technical difficulty with you guys, and it's scrambling the voice. But I know you all went on to be the leaders of the state police, and then from lieutenant colonels to majors to captain. Row, I mean, you both worked in roles that made such a difference, and you did jobs that men couldn't do, whether it be undercover. But there was it didn't matter you were a female. They all thought all us guys thought we were all tough guys until it took a female that might have been half the size, had more guts than a man, running through a door and crashing through a door, going after notorious drug dealers or murderers or organized crime figures. I mean, you soon made your bones when they looked left or right and they saw that you had their back. How did it make you feel as you both moved up the rank? Did you feel that you were now an equal?
Did we lose our connection?
Yep.
I think it's them. Can you hear us, Tommy?
They're spinning.
Yeah. I don't think it's us.
Well, you and I are here, so
Yeah.
Uh-oh. That was just us.
So I guess we're running the show now.
How about now? Can you hear us?
Yeah.
There you go.
All right,
Back.
great, good. I'm glad to have you back. But I was saying how you went on to be great leaders, then you went into the private sector to be great leaders, and now earlier I was telling Robin before we came on the air, um, there's no longer the old boys network as the chiefs of police and colonels. You have females running this country in law enforcement. We have our former AG, Ann Milgram, that's the head of the DEA. I mean,
right.
and a lot of New Jersey set the way. Would you agree with that? You're both involved in organizations. What was I involved in, Ro? Nolly? I forget.
Yeah,
What
you
was
were
the
actually
women's
you were a
organization
card
you
carrying
had me
member.
involved in?
You were a card carrying member of Nolly, that's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's and I just you know, and we're having bad connections, so I'm gonna have to invite you guys back on another day. But we lost another cop 2 days ago, a Port Authority cop, and I'm sure you saw that.
Yeah.
And Ro and Debbie, you're both friends with my brother, who's now he worked with you both. You actually both raised him through the ranks yourselves in the state police, and he
That's
went
right.
on to do pretty well for himself. But we lost a
He absolutely
we lost a Port Authority cop that was struck by a automobile.
Should we narrate these
Uh,
pictures?
All right, let's try this.
Okay.
Let's try this.
Yeah, Tommy. I did see that, and I wasn't.
Pictures of
I
Debbie
wasn't.
and Ro, and when they were in the class, and so proudly being the first female class in the country. But we got some gremlins going on here in our little studio. It is the first day, and I'm going to say goodbye to you two ladies. I'm going to apologize.
No, wait. I think I can.
Well, wait.
Just mute one of your. Just mute one of yours.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, now you're a technology. You
Oh, yeah.
were a technology lady.
Yep, I'm the accidental techie.
But anyway, I was saying, ladies, the worst day I would assume for any of us is when we lost an officer.
Right. Yeah.
Or trooper.
It was a very sad day, and I just wanted to interject that my former husband's cousin, Frank Bellaran, was killed in the line of duty, and that shook our whole family and the state police family as well. And I just wanted to say that no one ever forgets. The state police has been a wonderful friend to the Beltran family and have been with them all along. So that I think needs to be said, that you don't forget, when something bad happens in family, they stay with you for the life of that family.
Deb, on that note, Frank was my brother's classmate, but I went to school with Frank and Debbie, his sister, and that was like a punch in the gut for us, because Debbie and I his sister sat next to each other from fourth grade all the way through high school. And when I got that news, just yesterday, I drove by the Parkway with my mom, and every time I go by, I always throw them a salute, because they got a little memorial of them on the Parkway there. And I remember that day. I remember going to church in Matasquan. There must have been 10,000 cops from all over the country there.
Sure.
Yeah, it was quite a day. It was quite a showing, and it was wonderful for the family, especially Frankie's father, Frank. He wears it on his sleeve still every day, and we're happy and proud that we can remember him in that way.
Yeah, and
so we're back up and running, and you had some great questions.
Yeah.
So I hate to be redundant, but these guests are amazing, and they're pioneers, and I think it would be worth it to ask them again and get the answers again.
Yeah, I was saying to our audience, first female class in the country, and I remember the stories when you came on the job. What made you tougher than any man you'd be out there alone. People didn't realize that the New Jersey State Troopers drive by themselves a lot. And there were times where people tried to prove a lesson, self-admitted by mutual friends of ours, and are embarrassed by it, that they wouldn't back you up. They thought, let's see how tough they are on their own out there. And you women proved that you were more than tough. You went on not only to do the job and arrest some notorious drug dealers, murderers, and everybody else, but you went on to lead the state police and basically set the groundwork for how the state police is run in today's world. When you look back on that and you look at the troopers now, the females that are lieutenant colonels or majors, I'm sure you're like an athlete who realizes you paved the way for them. Does it make you proud now that you've been off the job a while?
Yeah, it sure does. I mean, I've always lived by the philosophy to lift as you rise, and I know myself and Deb was at the academy, and she mentored a lot of the women, not just the recruits, but other women that were assigned to the academy. And I know still to this very day, women look up to Deb for that mentoring. And in my positions, anytime I had a chance to help women, whether it was to get into the FBI National Academy or, to be assigned somewhere where they can use their strengths, not just as women, as a police officer. So that's something we always stuck together. We were pioneers, but we hope that it continues. The number of women nationwide is still a low number, but the number of women chiefs nationwide has increased. So we're happy to see that as well.
Before we get to tonight, because I know you're being celebrated, Deb, I don't know if you know this story. Roe's dad was a chief, and when he was a sergeant on the Newark Police Department, he was my father's recruiting officer. But you had to be 5'7", and my father was 5'6 3/4. So Mr. Manghisi put lifts in my father's shoes. So they both did all right. My father went on to be a chief and director like Chief Manghisi, and they both had extraordinary careers. And I always say my brother took after my father, and Roe, you took after your dad.
That's the Manghisi way.
Deb, you have a blue blood family yourself, and like you mentioned, the Bellarans. But what's going on tonight, ladies? You're getting recognition after all these years, still, right?
So newly promoted Lieutenant Heather Zeisel spearheaded this event tonight to honor our class. So we're also going to honor Gail Just, who's the first female trooper, and she'll be there. So it'll be at the Trenton Thunder, 5:00. Tickets are free. And then this weekend, we'll have a softball tournament. Every year since the 2000, I think it is, we held a state police run softball tournament for women from agencies from New York to Maine, Connecticut, North Carolina, Virginia, Delaware, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey has, as you know, Tommy, we have the most wins. So tonight will be the ceremony honoring our class. And then this weekend, the softball tournament will be at Roland Park in South Brunswick for all these different state police agencies. And Tommy, we're going to bring home the trophy again. You know how it goes.
Oh, of course. On the male side, I combined the Newark Police with the state police team, and we traveled all over the country and called ourselves Jersey Lawmen and won everything. And the female troopers should have been part of that team. But I have to say this to you, Ro, you look as young as you ever did. Please don't go out there and play. You'll be walking around with pulled hamstrings and won't be able to get out of bed tomorrow.
Listen, I just got my Medicare card, so I think it prevents me from conducting certain kind of physical activities. But I'll be involved in some way.
Well,
Here's one thing about all the our female troopers. Like, we know our limitations and we stay in our lane, but our lane is pretty wide.
But Deb, I know the stories are going to be the same, but they get better as we get older, and I'm sure you guys are going to have a blast with your counterparts, just catching up. I mean this when I say this. I have 3 daughters. None of them are in law enforcement, and that's a good thing. But I can't be more proud of the females that I worked with in my career. My sister, Ro, and I went through many doors together. And I know this, when I look left, right, or behind me, she was always in front of me. And that said a lot for who you women were. You did things that some of the biggest tough guy men I know that wore a uniform didn't want to do. And I can say that because I experienced it. So I thank you. I hope you guys have an incredible weekend. I hope this is our first show. I can have you back on when we get all the gremlins out of here. It must be the Russians are attacking our computers, yo. It's the
We came back.
The landscapers are back. But
That's what it is.
stay safe, enjoy, and
Thank you.
maybe I could sneak down this weekend, Ro. I'd love to see your face. So
Sure.
we'll stay in touch. But thank you, ladies. Thank you for your
Thank
service.
you so much.
And
Thank
Robin, thank you for being there right next to Tommy.
Oh, well, you know,
Fixing all the problems.
we have some glitches, obviously. But no, but thank you, Ro and Deb, for being on the show. When I thought about you guys coming on as guests, and then I was getting the pictures sent, I'm in awe, because I truly don't believe that we're there yet, where I think we all deserve to be, as equals. And I hate to say that, but I do, in my heart, I just believe it, and that we're just not there yet. And it's women like you that I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine being the trailblazers that you were and still are, back when you were working, because it's mind blowing to me how strong you had to be, emotionally and physically, but probably more so even emotionally, to wear that uniform and to be up against, people that weren't ready for that kind of thing. So thank you. And I'm not your family, in blood, but I'm positive that you are role models to just about everybody that is in your family, because I can't imagine it. So thank you. Thank you for being on the show. We have to have you back, because I feel like I'm responsible for the technical difficulties, even though I don't think so. I think there's a ghost in the studio. But I need to have you back, because I could talk to you guys for an entire hour.
Sure.
So
And we
thank
could
you
tell
so
stories.
much.
And we could tell stories about Tommy too. And that's
Well,
like a
well,
series.
No, that is a series.
that is a series. We'll get to that.
The
Thanks,
Tommy
ladies.
Chronicles.
Stay safe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay safe and keep spreading the word. I hope this weekend, when the women of today's state police see you, they throw you the ultimate compliment and throw you that salute, because you damn well deserve it. So we'll talk
Thanks,
to you soon.
brother. Thanks, brother.
Thanks,
We
Bye.
Tommy.
appreciate it.
Thanks,
Bye, Robin.
Robin.
Thank you. Bye
Take
bye.
care.
You
Bye-bye.
too.
To the best of New Jersey State Troopers. If you've never been to the New Jersey State Police Museum, go down there. They're starting to get their recognition. It's
Good.
nice that they're at Trenton Thunder tonight.
The first women's class
First women's class in the country.
And
by the way, good for New Jersey that they
That's
took
right.
that stance. And that's why we have this station, because people need to know that on New Jersey, you're going to hear things and find out things that are important, historical things, historical people that led the way in so many different environments for New Jersey. And these two, and we will have them back, and we'll have a few more of their classmates back. And they are worthy of an entire hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, because their stories are incredible. And I know the men back in the day.
I'm going to be upset, because you're going to probably tell me stories they're just.
Well, some of them are bad, and then there were a lot of great men too. There were a lot of great men that took them right under their wing. But unfortunately, you remember a lot of the bad stories, and but that's okay. You know what I mean? That made them stronger.
Change scares people, and it brings out the best and the worst.
I want to strike that, as they say. It wasn't okay.
Right.
But
no, you meant it was okay because it.
Well, these women showed who they really were, and they needed to go through that to pave the way for the women of today, and they did. So you could take it almost in my world, in half of my world, I would say, the American icon Jackie Robinson had to pave the way. Well, in this world, these women were the Jackie Robinsons of law enforcement. They took it all. They got called every name. They were put in dangerous situations without backup. they never left each other's side. They stayed together, and finally they rose through the ranks and they changed the environment. And today's environment is one of what I believe, we got a little way to go, but fairness.
What I believe is there's a Netflix untold story about this first class, because I would love to see it.
Yeah, that's maybe we should talk to our partner Amory, huh?
And maybe Ro could help write it, and
It's-
Ro and Deb. No, really, there's got to be
If
stories.
you sat in a room like we did once, and you sat and you just told countless stories
Yeah.
and videotaped them, your jaw would drop.
Yeah.
Your jaw would drop. You wouldn't believe it. And they went on to have families. They went on to have great children who followed in their footsteps. A couple of troopers I know married each other. Beautiful lives they wind up living. But they were tested, to say the least. They were tested. And being a cop is not easy. And this week we learned again that when you put on that uniform, you don't know that you're coming home. And today's show, with 4 minutes to go, and it's been exciting, and we apologize for a couple of the little bit of gremlins, as I like to call them. But it's okay. This is on New Jersey, and we're gonna have a lot of fun. And this is just our first show. Tomorrow we'll be back on with the King, Jimmy Leyritz, and we're gonna dig into a little NFL. I know how you love to go to predictions of the NFLs for Sunday and who's going to win. I know you love it. It's one of your favorite things.
It's my favorite thing
It's
to
your
do.
favorite.
It's my favorite thing to do is to sit in a room
Right.
and talk about a sport I don't have, or any sports really,
Yeah.
that I have no idea really the difference between offsides and false starts. And
Well, we had
but I will talk about high school sports only if my kids are on the team.
we had a false start today.
Hanover Park tomorrow.
We had a false start today for a couple minutes.
Oh, we had a fumble. We had a Hail Mary pass that was dropped. We had everything that could go wrong.
But it all ended up right because those two ladies hung with us like they hung through their careers. But I want to pay tribute as we go off the air today. On September 11th, police officer Vivaro, who had a 7-year career with the Atlanta Braves and the Boston Red Sox, Staten Island kid, grew up, blue-collar families, 4 children young, decided I'm going to be a Port Authority police officer a few years ago. And when they graduate, they get to write on a note where they wanted to serve. And he said, I want to serve at the World Trade Center. And he did. And there's a great piece that I would encourage you to go on and look at. ESPN did, and it's him and his partner walking through the current World Trade Center, and his partner's laughing, saying, I'm a Met fan. I don't even like you because you were a Brave. And this young man went on then to get promoted to be an instructor in the Port Authority. And my brother, Edward Stetner, who is a cancer survivor from working on a pile 9/11 and fights for his life every day, has an emotional day, as we know, every 9/11. And unfortunately, this 9/11, when he was on his way to work, he got a call that Officer Vivaro, who was on his way to work to serve the museum in 9/11 and be there, the vice president was coming in for protection. Unfortunately, a driver was going the wrong way on the road and doing over 100 miles per hour. Investigation is still pending, but Officer Vivaro lost his life. And today he's being buried, leaving 4 young children. I encourage you to go to the Port Authority PBA website. There's a GoFund page there. I will post something tomorrow about the GoFund page. My brother described it as the worst day of his almost 40-year career. I say to this All-American kid who got to play the All-American sport baseball and serve his country, we're going to leave you with a little song written by Robin DeLore and sung by Robin DeLore. I'm sorry,
See you
brother.
tomorrow.
End of a watch.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
when the moment comes for us to say goodbye, don't feel all alone. I don't want you to cry. Just please try to remember how happy you made me, and smile, because I'm free. Remember all the good, and know I tried my best. The fighting all meant nothing, and all the yelling were just tests that we always passed, and I always won. And now I'm shining down on you, just like the sun.